time to strap in and get ready. The leaders in AFL SuperCoach are incoming, helping you win your leagues and climb up the rankings. You're now listening to the Insight AFL Show with your hosts, Big Horse and Skitty.
Hello and welcome back to the Inside AFL Show. I'm your host, The Horse, and with me tonight we've got the man, new daddy, by the way. Congratulations to our man, as we said previously. But Squid, welcome back to our favourite night of the week, mate. How are you?
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful to be here on Wednesday for previews. And look, as many people want to call me the D word, I am more than happy to hear it. So please, by all means, let it fly. Love that. Please continue.
And our man, the analytics man, the man that is in much demand in the Supercoach community, albeit he's been involved with for only a couple of months, but boy, this guy's reputation is absolutely soaring in the Supercoach space. It's our man, Hurls. How are you, mate?
Oh, I'm good, mate. I wish my Supercoach score matched the reputation that you're talking about there. But anyway, that's another story. We'll try to fix that over the next few weeks. But yeah, love being a part of it, mate. So looking forward to a preview show where we can get into another round of footy.
Yeah, I can't wait, mate. It's great having footy back. You know, cricket season's all well and good, but it just doesn't match up to the AFL. And I know we had some controversial decisions throughout the week, we could call it, with the likes of Jackson Archer being suspended, Tom Lynch getting a week for a pretty poor or pissy bump. Scrimshaw probably deserved his with his 3 weeks. But overall, Squid, footy's back. Essendon are still looking for their first win. North are still looking for their first win. What do we do?
Well, mate, we didn't sit here and just bloody hope our teams can pull it around. I don't think this is going to be the week, but that's all right. You know what? At least we don't go for a club that has people, let's just say, doing the wrong thing, and then also probably a bit out of salary as well. So if you catch my drift, at least we're not those pieces of shit. You know what I mean?
You know what? You're never going to get it PG rated out of our man Squid, so it's got to be expected by now. But ladies and gentlemen,
if Sam Lawler is able to post about his cock being out after kicking that goal, I'm allowed to just have to throw in a little joke here and there. You know what I mean? It's not that serious, guys. Come on.
Big slug. We'll have to call him now. But anyway, geez, I wish I had the issue when I played footy of it popping out the bottom. But anyway, cotton on, yeah. But anyway, if you like the banter, the footy chat, and the Supercoach knowledge, hit like, subscribe, and the bell. Be a triple banger. We'd love that. But also, if you listen to us on audio, give us the 5-star review. That gets us out into the algorithm so that other Supercoach-minded people who love a bit of banter can tune in, like what we've got going on, and just be a part of our amazing community. Now, first of all, mate, our Unlimited League. 356-460. We're going to close it off after week 6. So we've still got a month to join, but we've currently got nearly 1,200 people in there. And this week, You Bloody Donkey, coached by Jonah, wins our $50 prize pack. Thanks, guys, at the Standard Squeeze. So, Jonah, if you're listening in, whether it be on audio, whether it is here tonight, please send us a DM, mate, so we can send you your prize pack. Thanks to the guys at the Standard Squeeze. Ripper products, aren't they, Squid?
Oh, mate, absolutely. Have a look at it right here, mate. Yep, you beauty, right, fitting right here, front of hand. You know what? Beautiful work there. So, yeah, no, you know me. 4-in-1s in the morning for coffee, 4-in-1s late at night for beers. Bloody ripper.
I think so. Hurls, we could bang on all day about promos and sponsors and all that sort of stuff, but we're here to chat footy, aren't we?
Let's get into it.
Footy.
Thursday night. I'm going to let you lead us off, mate. Carlton versus Hawthorn, 7:30 p.m. at the G. It's going to be wet, from what I'm led to believe.
Ooh, interesting. This game last year, I think Hawthorn won by some stupid amount. Yep. Curnow went down, stuffed my whole Supercoach season up, and it was interesting. But I think this week going to be an interesting one for us. In as I was putting these slides together, there's a bit to talk about tonight because every game's got some Supercoach decisions that are at stake, and I think the first one that we want to see is what happens based on Carlton's, I'll call it a hilarious loss. But what do they do? There's rumours of Chera going back. You know, Doherty might come in. What's going to happen, do you think?
I don't know, but being an Essendon supporter, I don't mind seeing Carlton lose, but it really does puzzle me that they're trying to drop Cerra to halfback. And our inside info is that he is going to be playing across halfback. We've had some people down at trainings and they've actually seen Cerra training with the halfback group. So I don't like it. I really don't like it from a Supercoach point of view. I think we can give Cerra a week, though, just to see how that role works, because he does use the ball okay. But, Squid, why would you take one of your premier on-ballers who is winning more than his fair share of ball, place him at half-back and almost concede, all right, you're beating us, put him to half-back to try and control the game, and he really had fuck all the ball in the last quarter and a half.
Yeah, it's a weird strategy from the Baggers, but I think they still think that they have like 5 reserve midfielders that they can just pull out of their asses, like where they still had Kennedy and stuff like that last season. Maybe this means Doherty won't be the sub this week and they're more inclined to play him a bit more on ball. I don't mind it as being an owner for Cerra because, as we know, if they're not on ball and they're half back, that's fine. We can still get Supercoach points from there, so I'm not overly concerned about that. Am I concerned that the Baggers could get absolutely pants by the Hawk ball tomorrow night? Yes, I am. Am I here for it? Oh, yes, I am. Let's not forget they lost to Richmond.
I've actually never heard of the football terming strategy, but Squiddy has just brought it out. So I'm interested to see what the strategy of Carlton is going to be.
Yeah. Trademark SEN breakfast, you pieces of shit.
We're going to get into them, let me tell you. Hurls, Curnow is back.
Yep.
No preseason games, no games in the twos. They say that he's right to go. And look, he might be, but how long does he last? Is he a sub option? Is it going to be he's good for a quarter and a half and then goes quiet because he doesn't have the match fitness? How do you see this happening?
I'm not sure. Look, you'd have to think that if he's fit, he's playing the full game. You wouldn't risk an asset like that if he's not. I think the one thing it does do for Carlton is it means Mackay becomes second ruck. And that means that they protect Cripps a little bit more because he was gassed last week when the rubber was hitting the road in that last quarter. The poor bastard had been in the ruck and in the midfield and everywhere the whole game. So I think that will help them. But Curnow back more structurally helps rather than whether we're expecting a huge score. I mean, Hawthorn won't be too worried. I don't think they've got the tall defenders now to match up.
Yeah, they definitely do. And we've seen with Scrimshaw going out, they've brought in CJ. Squid, do you want to have a go at pronouncing CJ's name or we're just going to let that go?
Jath.
First name?
CJ.
Squid, I'm going to ask you, mate. Yeah, well done, Squid. Now, Will Day. So we had a blinder the first week, shitter last week. This week, does he get, I want to say he might get George Hewitt.
Yeah, if there's anyone, it'd be George Hewitt.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you were confident enough to take Will Day, what's his break even, actually? Has
it's like 58 or something like that.
58's not bad. So I guess you've got him 49 actually. So you'd probably be okay with holding Day with a 49. It's not that dire. So we know he can turn it on. And as you said, the Carlton tag may be Hewitt, but there's a good chance that he just might be able to be off the chain a bit. Yeah,
for sure. And Kiz has nailed it. Your footy terminology, the strategy for the thingamabobby.
Yep. That's exactly what we do here.
Hurls, Carl Amon, he's interesting.
Yeah.
He's going to break even at 53 at 494K.
Yeah.
Is there an element of us just overlooking him? Like, is he a legitimate option or how do you see this playing out?
Look, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I'm not bringing him in now because I missed it.
No.
But I think I'd much rather have him sitting in my team than Perryman right at the minute where I'm scratching my head what to do with him. So I think we did miss him, but I'm not jumping on either, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Squid, is there anyone else in this game that you can see making a difference? So Doherty will be on field. right from the start this time. We saw that he scored 67 Supercoach points from just over a quarter of footy. I know injury history is pretty poor, and some of it not his, or none of it his fault, really, having fought through a cancer battle and what have you. So if there's one bloke on the Carlton Footy Club that you want to see succeed, it's Sam Doherty. Is he in any way, shape or form relevant for us in the classic mould of Supercoach?
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't trust it with the injury, but history and that age, yeah, I can't do it. But it was very, very impressive, the fact that he got a 67 in a quarter. Like, that was absolutely huge stuff there by Doc. I'm just happy that Camperali's still getting a game for the Baggers. That's good. He'll be better for it from the last week's one. That's good. TDK Meek. That matchup is going to be an absolute thingamabobby and a half. I'll tell you that much. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. They're both very, very high, good users of the ball with ruckmans. They're going to be competing well in the air. So yeah, this is going to be an absolute thingamabobber battle.
You're so smart. I love it.
Thanks.
If it's wet, Carlton by 6 goals. If it's not wet, Carlton by 10 goals. Change my mind, Hurls.
Look, Carl Scum. You're going to pick Carl Scum, really?
No, sorry, Hawthorn.
Oh, I was going to say, Jesus.
I thought you were taking the piss.
You scared me for a minute.
I'm drinking water, so I don't know what's going on.
I think
Hawthorn.
I think Hawthorn. Look, nothing would surprise me in footy, but I think Hawthorn. They're flying the Hawks.
Squid, they are.
I'm not against, like, I'm not saying that Carlton are absolutely completely screwed or anything like that. I just think the Hawks are playing that good of football and they can really towel them up.
For sure. As we move into our next game, I want to give a shout out to our day ones.
Hold up. Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Want to give a shout out to our day ones, the standard squeeze. Use the promo code IFS 2025. You right? Use the promo code IFS 2025 to purchase anything in store. You get 15% off. Very good product that they are. Sorry, Squid, I'll cut you off. And he doesn't want to talk.
Squeezy.
Oh.
Squeeze.
Yeah, we could do the squeeze of the week. Yeah, that's this.
Yeah, well, I just like... Yeah, mate, you got to, get the guesses in for who you think is going to get the highest individual Supercoach score for the round. As we can see up there, I've gone a bit sideways after Josh Dunkley got the 177 last week, and unfortunately no one got the prize. I've gone Jeremy Cameron to absolutely take the piss out of the Saints, I think it is, at 166. So please, ladies and gentlemen, get your guesses into the chat, and I will put them up on the board, and good luck, and you can win some good prizes from either the standard squeeze or maybe even game day score. We might do a little something there, Horse. We'll see how we go.
Lockie Neal 160. Lock it in.
Damn. Not worried about a tag, Horse?
Against West Coast.
Oh, shit. I thought they were... Yep, sorry. I thought they were playing for St Kilda for some reason. They were going to cop Windhager. Yeah, no, that's a great call. Lockie Neal.
Yeah. Hurls, you got one for the start?
Yeah, I'll kick off with Connor Rosey, 152.
Oof.
Hey.
Big gun.
Oh, I like that. Against the Tigs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good last week. He was back.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He did.
In a team where they got fucking spanked.
Mm-hmm. Footscray versus Collingwood is our next game. 7:40 Friday night. MCG. What are we doing with Perryman, Hurls?
This has been a conundrum all week. He's the biggest headache in my Supercoach team, and I have made the decision, and you'll see my trades later on, I've made the decision to hold Perryman this week for a couple of reasons. Not because I have any faith in Perryman bouncing back, by the way, but I don't know where to go. So I don't want to go down to the wrong bloke. I think there's a few options like SDK, Fridge, even Schoenmaker isn't out of the realms of the possibility there as the go down option. I could go up, but then is it Holmes or Stewart? How many bloody Geelong players do I want to pick? So I don't want to go there. Whitfield would be my choice, but he's on a bye. So I'm taking the approach that I'm going to just let this week ride out. Best case scenario, Perryman has the role, comes good. I don't have to worry about it. Or I then make the call and hopefully there's a bit more clarity presenting itself next week. But it's been doing my head in all week, to be honest, this bloody move.
Anyone that's used as a tagger has a limited upside. You don't know what you're getting each week. And for us with Perryman, he's what we would consider a stepping stone into getting someone that's elite in SuperCoach or a keeper. I'm concerned, and there's a couple of things that I want to discuss with you boys in this, in that I think Perryman goes to Ed Richards. Ed Richards is probably the most damaging with ball in hand for the Western Bulldogs. Mm-hmm. But also, I don't think Frazier is going to go back-to-back hundreds.
No, I agree.
I think last week against North Melbourne, I think it's sucking people into a false sense of security with Frazier because Squiddy, as you'd know, being a North Melbourne man, they played fuck all defense behind the ball and just let him and Daly Bale and all these sorts of guys look really, really good. Collingwood aren't going to let that happen this week.
Oh, shit, no, they're not, Horse. And as I said to you on the phone, Daly Bale was invisible against North Melbourne, and that is not what Collingwood do. They know how to pick up a backman. So, yeah, Fridge, we're not going to see full-time midfield Fridge or ruck Fridge. Mm-hmm. It's going to be half-back Fridge, but either way, yeah, no, they're just – he played an unbelievably good game. I like it that he's a break-even 28. I feel like he's still going to get a bit of on-ball roll, but I'm just not folding into him. I'm also on the train with Hurls. I'm praying for Perry, and I'm playing him one more week because he does get the price rise as well this week, which is nice. Mm-hmm. So as long as he gets over the 77, bit of cash, hopefully it's something, and then that's at least cash is king, you know what I mean? So at least you get something before you trade him off a week early. So let's just hope he gets over 77. That's all we need. I still think there's a chance with Degoe coming back that Perryman might move to maybe more of a forward type role to go to Daly Bale. I reckon there's a chance of that, but I don't mind the Ed Richards call as well, Horse.
Yeah. Hurls, Riley Sanders. There's just the Colonel. There's question marks all around this bloke. He saved his bacon last week with 2 goals in that. What did he score? 72 or whatever it was. Like it could have easily been another score in the 50s. At the G against Collingwood, we called it last week that they were going to pants Port, and they did. Western Bulldogs need to be pretty careful here because with his lack of defensive running, they could really, pile it on here.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not an owner of Sanders. I jumped off before last week's lock-in. If I owned him, I think I'd be erring on the side of trading with Sanders for a different reason than Perryman. There's a real obvious trade too, and that's Bailey Smith because they're both defensive. They're both mid forwards. So while I think both Perryman and Sanders might be done picks, I'm holding Perryman because I don't know where to go, but I'd be trading Sanders because I think there's some obvious moves.
Warner.
Yeah. Ned Long, Squid. Interesting one.
He is very interesting, sitting at that 200K with a break-even of minus 31. The hard thing is that where do you go? Like most midfields, you've got Ashcroft, you've got O'Driscoll, you've got Finn O'Sullivan, you've got Nevitt, you've got all these guys that are going to be good enough to make you money. And it's not job security that's completely solid. Yes, it's nice cash gen, and he's been having some good games, and he's got that game from last week in the rotation for a bit. It's one for me that I just need to – I don't know where you get him in from.
Yeah.
Like maybe Peatling, that's probably the only one that I can really think of. That's probably the only one that I go because it seems he's pure mid.
The other short-term play, if you really want to gamble, because it's a bit of a gamble anyway – you could go Sardis to Long 9K difference.
That's true.
And at least you've got the 100. But I think there's huge sub risk here. I think there's huge dead end in 2 or 3 weeks for sure. But it is you guaranteed cash. So if you do want to go for a short term cash injection, you can do it. But yeah, it's not my kind of play. But I think it's got some rationale.
To go back as well will obviously limit Ned Long's ability in the midfield as well. So yeah. There you go. Yeah, thanks, Jas.
We could be sitting here in 4 weeks' time saying, shit, we missed that one. Ned Long's gone up 180 and he's got a midfield role and they love him at Collingwood or something. But look, you got to make some gut calls in this, and I'm not putting my faith in Ned Long.
No. Yeah. Long story short, Pies by 3 goals for me.
I'd go about 5, I reckon. I reckon they looked really, really nice. Dogs' backline isn't bulky enough, and look, memory's not great, and McStay, but they're doing enough, and I reckon their small forwards will feast.
Yep. Hurls?
It's a fascinating thing, like Footscray being called Footscray this week as their 100th year, and well done for getting there, because there were times throughout the last 30 years that looked like they were gone, right? But is wanting to play Collingwood to get big gate receipts the right thing for your 100th at the MCG when they just don't play the MCG? I've got real concerns over Footscray at the MCG. So I think it's going to play right into Collingwood's hands and they could have a comfortable win.
And Squiddy, another one. Daily Bale away from Marvel. Not great, is it?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right there, mate. Yeah, he does not like playing away from Marvel. That is 100% certain. He's like the Nasai Wanganeen Miller.
Unfortunately. You're right. Next game, who we got?
The Bombers. And another really curious fixturing at the MCG. Like, I can't remember us playing Adelaide at the G for forever. Maybe the 93 preliminary final.
Where did you play him last year when Ben Keys kicked 5 and absolutely slaughtered your final side?
Marvel.
Oh, okay, that's all right. But also, just saying, everyone, Ben Keys is like
he ripped us apart.
2 goals. $4 for 2 goals. Absolute value. Lockie Bramble responsibly, obviously. Not on that.
How do I mute this plug? Anyway, Essendon versus Adelaide, 1:20 p.m. at the G. I'll be there. Stubbies in hand. It'll be a treat to watch. Zardes, Tzatziki, Zekalopoulos, however you want to pronounce his surname. Parrish is back on the track. He had the red shirt on today, so he's training with the 2s. He's probably still a couple of weeks away, Hurls.
Miles away.
57% time on ground, 61% CBAs. He really needs to get that time on ground up to 75% for me to have any faith in him.
Yeah. On Parrish, my call is he won't come back till Anzac Day. The VFL, if he doesn't play this week, which he's not, and then next week he plays his first VFL game, VFL also have a bye thrown in. Essendon go to Adelaide for gather round, Perth the week after, back for Anzac Day. I think Anzac Day is what they'll pencil in as best case scenario for Parrish. So I think the time is okay for Zardes. That's enough time if he does what we want him to do. But the challenge with Zardes is a maths issue. Like Supercoach is a trading game. I have faith in Zardes the footballer. If he churns out a 50 or a 60, though, I don't give a shit about Zardes the footballer for my Supercoach team, right?
No.
I'm gonna move him on for maybe a Max Hall or someone else who can do the job that I want that cash cow to do. So for me, it's purely a maths equation for me. I want to see his CBAs, I want to see his TOG, I want to see his score, and then I'll make a call whether I move him on next week or whether I keep him.
I actually think playing Adelaide may suit him a little bit better. You've got the likes of John Newcombe, Will Day, you name it. It's all sort of speed, and Newcomb's probably the only inside mid who can also get on the outside and kick the ball a little bit. Zardes could go, Tzatziki, whatever you want to call him. He could go head-to-head with the crouch potato here and get his 30 touches. They play not a similar style of game. Like, he is pretty good in close, and he does kick it occasionally, a little bit more than what Crouch does. But I feel like this game probably suits him a little better, Hurls.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, look, he got into the game a bit better in the second half last week. I think I said this on the review show on Sunday. Guys like him and Nevitt and that, they all started a little slow that first half. So they've got to get used to the pace of the game. Even though he's been in the system a while, it was really his first game in the midfield. The other thing that I learnt today, which might explain a bit of the TOG, and I didn't really know this, but he started on the bench last week, and the first goal in the Essendon Hawthorn game wasn't for about 8 minutes or 9 minutes. And so the TOG might have been just by sheer coincidence. If a goal came in, 3 minutes, he might have been straight on the ground. So just watch for that this week.
Our man Jimmy P, I'm going to throw this up on the screen here because I've heard something similar. Zardis will get a lot more game time this week because the rotations were stuffed. I tend to agree with that because you see when Zardis, Tzatziki, we're going to call him Tzatziki from now on, was on the bench, there were gaps between goals, which limited his time on ground, but also Hobbs getting dropped. I can see that happening. I've also heard that El Hawley might be in this week, Hurls.
Damn.
Yeah, but the only thing is, look, we learnt today that Tom Edwards is making his debut.
That's right.
And so the thing that's making me think maybe Al Hawley won't is they would have probably announced it, wouldn't they? Unless they haven't made that decision yet. But I don't know. So I personally, I would pick him. I think it's a good move. But the reports out of Essendon today were that Jones still trained on the wing. So maybe they're just going like for like, and they're bringing Edwards in for Langford, and they're going to leave Jones on the wing, which means Al Hawley won't get a game. But it's not how I'd go. But they're closer to it than me.
Yep, Squiddy, is Slick Willie Sedernut's playing this week?
I think so.
Okay. Jonas brings up every week, so we've got to give the man a shout out.
That's right. Hey, Sedenut's has got to give it a crack, mate.
Squiddy, are we sleeping on Jai Caldwell?
Look, all I want to say about this game is that Ben Keys for 2+ is $3.30 right now. Lockie Bramble responsibly. Him for 3 goals is $9, which is Lockie Bramble responsibly, and 4 is $31. Lockie Bramble responsibly. So just putting that out there. But from all the stuff that you guys have told me this week, I think we are sleeping on Jai Caldwell. And as you know, I don't like many Essendon players, and I only like the ones that are actually good or do something for my SuperCoach side. So Jai Caldwell was one of those guys because he was fantastic last week, 36 or 33, something along those lines. So good amount of touches. That's, Riley O'Brien is not the level of ruckman that Lloyd Meek is. Let's just say that right now. Draper played pretty well last week. I can see them getting a nice amount in the CBAs. So, look, Caldwell, he doesn't have forward DPP like he did last year, did he?
No, just mid only.
That's where it makes it a little bit hard to be able to pick him. But ballsy call if you do. And look, hey, if you really believe in that, then by all means go ahead. We also know that Darcy Parish could also kill him when he comes back into the. But about our SuperCoach sides, obviously.
Yeah, I like it, but I want to see it another week, and then I want to see it when Parish is in the side because I think
put up great credibility as well if he does it against the Hawks and then the next week against the Crom because they're two very, very solid midfields.
Yeah,
I want to do it, but I don't think you can just because of the round 4 bye. Like I like attacking in SuperCoach. I think this would be a really attacking move. To bring in someone like him would be great. But I've got 2 issues. I don't have a natural bloke to go from to bring him in. And the round 4 bye means you might attack for this week and next, but then you've got to buy the week after. So it just makes it really hard.
No, it's true. I forgot about the buy. Good call.
Hurls is ranking more of a must-have than Baz.
I've been thinking about this today. And look, some people have got one already. So you're going to bring the other one in. I didn't have either. And I'm bringing in Baz Lenker this week, and you'll see my trades later on. And the only reason is the cash that it's costing, right? He's cheaper. But I've got a feeling it might burn me. I reckon Rankin might be the must-have that I knew was right in front of my face the whole preseason. And just every time I restructured my team, I got rid of him, and maybe that's going to bite me on the arse big time.
Also, I know Deadly's in the chat. Jai Caldwell, Bendigo Pioneers legend. But you know who else is a Bendigo legend? Archer Day Wicks. Keep an eye out for him. He is playing well in the 2s. And you will read all about that in our Patreon tomorrow, where Deadly does our VFL and reserves wrap.
Good name too.
Absolutely. Squiddy.
Yes.
Will the deep CBA rotation at the Crows lead to the distribution of too many SuperCoach points amongst many players? Can we trust any one of them?
I'm starting to think that is the case. Like, Dawson was unbelievably good last week against the Saints, and he only scored 103. So that makes me a little bit a little bit iffy towards it. It is a very, very strong midfield. They do have very, very many options. I still think, though, that at the moment, Dawson is the one that you can be okay with. He does rotate everywhere. That's why I don't think I can really get a full trust into Soligo or Crouch Potato, especially when Draper then comes on, because that's another one that comes in off of the sub. So makes it a little bit harder as well. But I am still okay with Dawson because he has some extreme, like, high Supercoach scores that you could probably get away with. And he's still pod.
He's still a pod. The fact that he had, 27 touches last week and still ended up with 103 Supercoach points in a smashing. Yeah, I don't like it.
Tough.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me a bit. Like he to the eye, he was outstanding last week.
He was. Yeah.
But he
9 coaches votes too.
Yeah, he still only got 103. So that was just the problem there. I mean, if you've got him, you're not changing now. Like you go for it. It's fine. I just want to have a look at this Adelaide midfield though and see what happens over the next, say, 5-6 weeks. And is it a different one of the 5 that gets the 120 and everyone else gets 95? And that will just determine whether any of them are targets in the back half of the year or whether I avoid them altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Let's also say they're not going to win every game by 80 points and play St Kilda every week. All right, there was Supercoach score. There was Supercoach points going out the wazoo with our ranking was just kicking goals and taking the piss out of them. So this will be a good judge to show against Essendon because I think it's going to be a much tighter game.
Agree. It was witch's hat stuff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Hey, Squid.
Yo,
Essendon to win.
Yeah, I'll agree on that. If it was in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't really have a forward line, besides Caddy. No, I might go the Crumb. I'm going the Crumb. Yeah, I'm going the Crumb by 40.
From Essendon to win to the Crumb by 40. No, I reckon Essendon are going to get over the line. Adelaide haven't won at the MCG in their last 10 encounters, even though they did get robbed by the game against Collingwood last year, I think it was. But it still means they haven't won. So I'll back us to get on the winning side of the ledger.
Hawthorn also hadn't beaten Essendon in 15 games, and look what happened last week. So let's just not forget.
True. No, that is true.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not a part of Game Day Squad yet, use the code IFSAUS for your 3x9 common player pack. Get involved in our league as well. Our league code is AR006B8U. You do that, you sign up with our code, you get plenty of free packs. You get part of the Patreon, you get free packs. You get free packs every Monday when you sign up through IFS as well. Insight Fantasy Sports, just heaps of free shit. And the guys at Game Day Squad, absolute ripper blokes that put out a good product. So Game Day Squad, IFS AUS when you sign up for your free packs.
Damn right.
Mind you,
just quickly, sorry, lads, I was at the hospital with my son earlier, so I didn't get time to do the graphic, but IJ is correct. Happy 7,508 days without a final, Essendon. Weak as piss, be better. Remember, we're doing this for you, not to make fun of you.
Okay. Also want to give a shout out to Ryan from our Game Day Squad League. He, because he is a member of our Patreon, just for coming top, won a $50 9-player unique pack. Thanks to the guys at Game Day Squad. So it's free to enter. If you want to jump in, give it a crack, see how you go. They're the details. Now, we're going to Port Adelaide versus Richmond, 22nd of March, Adelaide Oval. All right. First things first. Port Adelaide by how much, Hurls?
68.
Squid?
Tigers win here.
Just going to mute him for a little bit because I don't know what's going on there with Squid. But yeah, Tigers, they did well to come back last week. They're not winning this week. They're not. I think the safe Lockie Bramble responsibly plus 39.
Nah, I'll give Tiggs Power around 40 points on.
Yep. Rosie versus Pickles as VC Hurls.
Yeah.
Make an argument.
I picked Rosie for the squeeze of the week, so I'm going to say him.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to call this out, I think both of them are going to have big games. But I loved Rosie's burst from stoppage against Collingwood last week. It was back. Like last year, a lot of people jumped on because he got down to, what was it, 400,000 or something towards the end of the year. And I watched him pretty closely at the back end, and he just looked like he was hampered all year. But that burst from stoppage was there against Collingwood last week, and I think that will mean he'll have a great game. And I think the second question is why I'll probably go this way as well. I reckon McIntosh probably goes to Pickles. You'd send your tagger to him if you were going to go one of the two. So that's probably why I'd lean that way too.
Fair reasoning there, mate.
I reckon you're bang on the money there. Don't even worry about the second one. I reckon he goes to Pickles as well. Bang on the money there, Hills.
So Alex Caruso now plays for the Richmond Footy Club. Squid.
That is such a shit headband. Why is it black? And why is it that thick? Like, what the fuck's he doing? It's horrible. I tell you what, he needed to come out with a press release before the game to be like, hey, everyone, just giving you a heads up before you see me on the TV screen tonight. I'm going to wear this thick-ass black headband with my bald, shiny head. It's going to look horrible. I'm doing it for this.
It was like he had a beach towel wrapped around his head. It was that thick.
Dead ass. It was this thick.
Maybe a charity or something, Squid. If it was for charity or something like that, we could understand it, right?
Come out and tell me that before the game, before it just comes out of nowhere and almost knocks me out of my seat. Like, what the hell?
I'm hearing you. Anyway,
because he was in the opening bounce, it was literally the first thing you saw as soon as the siren went. Like, Camden, come on, mate, come on. You're a good-looking rooster. It's a good mo. Right.
Well, Squid.
Yo,
SuperCoach related question.
Yes,
the Pepper Pig himself, Sam Powell-Pepper. Is it worth holding him for this game against Richmond?
Tell you what, Horse. I've made one change this week, and it's to piss that dickhead out of my side.
He's wrecked it. He's gone.
Don't care. I don't care. It's that. No, he's annoyed me. 18? Oh, my God. He did nothing. And me and Hurls spoke about this literally a day before the game, and we said, geez, just if Joe Barry showed us just that little bit more, we wouldn't have to pick Powell-Pepper. Son of a bitch. I still went Powell-Pepper and this piece of crap. I would love to have taken Joe Barry's 36. Would have loved it. But, yeah, now he's not going to give me any cash gen, so he can piss off.
Yeah, and that's fair too.
But also, too, he's playing Richmond. This could be a good time to hold him, but I don't want to have to wait another week. So he's going to have that 18, and then he's going to have to wait another week now because his break-even's going to be dog shit. So it's just not even worth it in my eyes.
The Peppa Peep show has been cancelled. Hurls, Jaden Short.
Yep.
We saw last week when Richmond struggled, he scored well. And then when they played well, he scored 2 points for a half. Is his scoring going to be dependent on how Richmond are going?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, Perryman has copped all of our wrath this week and he's going to get the arse out of everyone's team. I don't know that Jaden Short showed us anything more trustworthy than Perryman did, to be completely honest. All it was that he got 20 points more. So I think if I was an owner, I'd be nervous. But it wouldn't surprise me the way Jaden Short goes about it if he got sort of 100 either. I don't know. I didn't pick him because I didn't trust him, and all he proved to me from one half to the next last week was that I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair, mate. Yeah. Sam Layla. He only had 8. Lawler, sorry. Deadly. I know you're in the chat.
Yep.
Don't grill
You'll
me.
get there.
8% CBAs. He still scored 72, was it? With his 2 goals and had 19 touches. So he looked pretty good. Got the Rising Star Award for the week. We saw some news coming out that Adam Uze is going to increase his midfield time as the weeks go on.
Oh, nice.
Does that mean you jump on now, Squid, or do you wait?
I mean, we can wait one more week because obviously he doesn't have the price rise. He's $220K. So I'm happy to wait the extra week to get Sammy Lawler in. So that's fine by me. Love as well that Bonds now have a discount code of Lawler22, which is absolutely fantastic because he got his pill out. So now he's got a sponsorship with Bonds, which is fantastic. And then next week he's going to get a sponsorship by Pornhub. So can't wait for that. Well done, Sam Lawler.
Unreal.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and you're right,
Also,
Jonas. He's a
Jonas
lucky
said,
man.
"Bastard Dusty, mate. Come on, he's better than Dusty. Don't come on."
Let's move on to the next game, Hurls. What do you got?
So it's St Kilda and the Cats.
Oh, fuck. This is going to be a bit boring, isn't it?
Move on.
Yeah.
This is extremely Supercoach relevant, but extremely not relevant to anything else. I think this could be. I mean, Saints have a good record against the Cats. We're reliably informed by some of our Geelong fans in our WhatsApp group. But geez, you couldn't see it, could you? They just look like they've got huge issues on every line. The Saints. When Jack McRae walks in and he looks like he's a street ahead of the second best player at the club, I think we're in some trouble.
250th game and first game for St Kilda.
Yeah, good.
How would you feel being surrounded by all the teammates you've played your first 249 games with? Bloody unreal. But does Baz burn people here, Squid? 15,000 coaches have traded Baz in so far.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to cop the Windhager tag?
I'm telling you right now, I'm waiting one more week for Baz purely because of that Windhager tag. It does worry me. There's no one else in the Saints midfield that are going to be going in. So, yeah, I'm waiting that one more week just to see what happens there. There's a very good chance that he could go to someone else. So that is what it is. But, hey, Baz looked good last week. Scott can get stuffed, and Dangerfield saying that, we're going to see how it goes with Baz. Take it time by time. And he rolls out a 140. So, I'm not saying he's must-have at the moment, but I'm waiting this week and watching this game intently for the Cats to win by 120.
Big call.
Saints looked arse horse.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're the spoon this year.
Marvel Saints play well.
They do.
I think Windhager goes to Holmes. I think Holmes is more damaging with the ball in hand.
Yeah, good point. Very
Hurls?
good point.
Yeah. Look, I don't know where Windhager goes or if he goes to anyone. He went to Dawson for a little bit last week, but that didn't help him overall. So what's the point? I think Baz is must-have, by the way. I'll go the opposite view to that, Squiddy. Only because, for two reasons. Not this week. I don't care what he gets this week. I've bought him in. If he scores a 60, I'll probably be annoyed for an hour or two, for sure. But I think at 380,000 in the forward line, in that system that Geelong play, where he is the transition runner all day, I just can't see him not being a top six. Whether he gets 120 or 70 1 week, he's going to average out, right? No one averages that kind of score. But I think it was just a miss by all of us. We were wrong. I was wrong. I'll put my hand up, and I'm just correcting that quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam de Koning, Squid.
No, Horse. This is a question to you. This is your one, Horse. Sam de Koning. Is he better stepping stone than Perryman or Short in your eyes?
It was a no, but the more I look at it, I think he actually might be.
Oh, okay.
Reasoning is, excuse me, he scores a lot with his follow-up work, his disposals that he gets as like another on-baller, like another blitz abs, but bigger. Mm-hmm. His tap work isn't great. He doesn't get a lot of hit-outs, but it's around the ground where he drops back behind the ball, takes some intercept marks like he does down back. He's good below his knees. We've seen him last week. He snapped a goal from 45 out, so he's good by foot as well. I think his floor last year, his floor was like 60 in the ruck, 65. I think his floor this year, playing that role, 80. So if you're happy with 80s out of a 350k defender, then that's okay. I think he can go 100 this week against Harry Boyd. I think he's much more athletic. I think he covers the ground more. And I think he's probably got Boyd on skates this week. I'm worried about the weeks after that when he plays Max Gawn and these sorts of players, Lloyd Meek, when he gets manhandled a little bit, what happens there? So while this week I think he goes well, and he may have an average of 115 after this week and last week, what happens when he starts playing against Gawn, where we already know Scott's come out and said, all right, we're going to play someone else to help you with Max Gawn. What happens to SDK then? Does he then drop back into defense? Or how will they play him, Hurls? Like, that's what's got me going, yeah, the floor's there.
I'm not as worried about the role, but I am worried about the maths. And just for everyone who's thinking about SDK, there is clear rationale to move Perryman to SDK, right? I understand it. They're both stepping stones in your team. And at the moment, the math says that Perryman is not making much cash because he's got a 77 break even. The reason I'm waiting until next week is I want to see what Sam de Koning's number is this week so that I can see what the break even looks like. Because if you're bringing de Koning in, I feel like he might get 60s to 80s against Max Gine and these others in round 3, 4, and 5. But if he's got a 109 followed by a 115, I might cop that because the maths might tell me I can get up to a fallen primo like a Sinclair or someone like that quickly. If the maths this week are 70, then I'm not going anywhere near it because it won't get me to the blokes I want to get. So that's why I'm waiting with Sam de Koning.
Yeah,
fair.
Good point. Squid, would you like to add to that?
No, mate. I think Hurls hit the nail on the head. Maths is mathsing. That's all you need to say for Hurls.
Maths is mathsing.
Yeah.
Maths is mathsing, and that's a strategy.
Yeah, out of the thingamabobby.
I don't know why the hell you guys are laughing so much. I literally said that perfectly. That is accepted English.
Squid, let's go to Tommy Stewart or Max Holmes. Do you think either of them could be top 6 defenders?
Oh, geez, that's a real tough one, actually. Stewart, I don't know if he can get top 6. Maybe Holmes. I'm actually kind of opening up to it a bit more of Holmes being this number one guy for Geelong. I reckon they'll be around the mark. Will they finish top 6? Maybe not, but will they finish maybe in the top 10? Yeah, there's a definitely good chance of that. And it just all depends on how good Geelong can go. Let's not forget as well, Geelong do not have a great ruckman. SDK is not this pristine ruckman that can do beautiful tap work. They are playing behind the ball, second efforts. Once he moves more into it, I reckon there is a chance, but I'm not here ready to say yes yet.
Okay. Hurls, can Hall, Hasty, O'Connell present viable rookie options on the bubble next week? Out of those three, I actually liked Hasty's game before he was subbed off.
I was just going to say, I wish Ross didn't butcher Hasty the way he did because he looked like the one that was going to be the best of the lot. I don't love Hall's role, but he scored well. So at this time of year, I think it's a really interesting one about some of these cash gen traps that we fall into. Last year, it was the Gold Coast guy. What was his name? The little small forward tackling
Jake
bloke.
Rogers?
No, it was the Berry.
Berry.
Berry. Berry. Like he had this massive break even in round 2 or 3. Everyone jumped on him, and guys like this can be that. But I guess it's just a matter of comparison. Like what's going to be available to us next week? What does their break even look like? And is he the best of a bad bunch? So I'm waiting and seeing. I wouldn't go early on someone with this role though.
Yeah, if you don't have any of them and you don't have Nevitt or Boyd, I'd much prefer to jump on both of them. Both their roles look very friendly, especially Mitch Nevitt. 10 tackles last week, looks to be part of the engine room. As we see, a Geelong midfielder may have some other things to attend to outside of the AFL footy world, which will prohibit him from playing football for a little while. So, yeah, I think that Mitch Nevitt is as solid as it gets as a midfield rookie. And if you don't have him yet, if you're not bringing him in this week, it's next week before he makes bulk cash.
Can't believe you downplayed Tanner Bruin's finger injury like that. Come on, Horse. You're better than that.
Let's move on.
I think on the rookies, a lot of people are wondering what to do with rookies and stuff. My advice to everyone will be, if you don't have Boyd, Nevitt, O'Driscoll, or Levi Ashcroft, they're the 4 must-haves that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
You have to have those 4. No, not yet, but he's a good shout. But why I'm bringing it up is, if you've got all 4, great, you're set. If you haven't and you've got 2, then you might go 1 this week so that you don't restrict yourself for next week. Because I think by the end of next week, you're going to need all 4.
Yep. I agree with you there. Ashcroft's the one that I just go because we heard the sub rumors pre-season for Fags. So he's the one that I just go like, okay, let's just have a
That's
look.
fair.
But obviously now there's a couple more injuries with Lohman and stuff. So now they can just play him down forward and he can probably get away with it a bit more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Next game. Well, speaking of the Lions, we've got on to the Lions versus West Coast. This will be a bloody. Is this the Saturday on our Sunday morning games? The Saturday night into Sunday morning at snooze fests.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we got Sunday 1:10, which in Perth is like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It's Brisbane versus West Coast. Now, one word, Squid.
What?
Neil, Dunkley, Zorko. Who's your C if you had to pick out of the three?
Shit. It's out of Neil and Dunkley for me. Dunkley did it last week, so I'm going to say Lockie Neal gets off the absolute chain this week, takes apart the Eagles. Look, Flynn did sweet FA in the ruck work against Witsy. Witsy had 62 hitouts. Big O's going to have about 45. The Brisbane midfielders are going to absolutely feast. Oh, yeah. Zorko might not even see the ball. I'm not going to lie to you. Brisbane could absolutely smack him here. Brisbane by 100.
Yeah, I reckon potentially under rest.
Oh, yeah, also, too, I need to bring this one up because he's having me in hysterics. Kizza said, can we have a segment for bad rookies and call it I Bet My Wookie?
Hey,
I'll get Supercoach Doc on that immediately.
You sold Witz short. He had 68 hitouts.
Oh, shit, did he? Holy crap. What an absolute G. You know what's a fun fact? That's 14 less than the record in a game. Do you know who holds that record?
Cherry?
No. Our man.
Goldstein.
Todd had 82 hitouts in a game against the Giants.
Essendon legend, Todd Goldstein, mind you.
Piss off, he's ours.
Yep.
Superstar, third in the Brownlow.
Hurls, what would you do if Neil drops another shit score?
It's a dilemma. I'll tell you what, I'm going to answer the first question with my answer to the second question. I'm making Neil captain if Rosie doesn't go off because he owes me. And I need him to go big to make up the ground on all the pricks who didn't start him last week who are 200 points ahead of me. So I need him to go big this week. But if he drops another shit score, I'll be very disappointed. I can't see it, though, surely. I will be livid. I will be. But look, I wouldn't trade him, but I will be livid.
Is Levi a sub-risk? He was last week. I don't think he's now after the 25-touch performance he had last week.
Probably not.
I think it's more Lohman going down. I think that's more of a case that he won't be a sub-risk. I think that you can alter the Brisbane side now to have another forward pocket to then move someone else up, and then Ashcroft can play his half forward and then like wing on ball, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And especially not this game. This is training drills, this game.
There could be, 23 players for Brisbane, including the sub, in a game, 30 Brisbane Lions, 7 players that aren't even going to suit up for Brisbane. They'll be playing reserves. We'll score 100 in this game. It will be a pizzling.
I'll tell you, what's his Logan Morris could kick 7. He could kick. McGovern will go to Hipwood, and then everyone else is headless chooks running around that back line. How much is going to be coming in?
Charlie Cameron, huge.
Some might say huge.
All right, I've got to find it.
No. Hugh McCluggage is just going to bypass all of his forwards. Hugh McCluggage will kick 5. He'll just kick him from the wing.
Easily?
Ease.
I always call it massive. Sometimes they say huge.
There it is. Is Will Ashcroft Hurls making enough cash?
I don't think so. I think I saw enough last week to say that if you've got Will Ashcroft, I'd be considering moving him already. And only because, again, you picked him because you want to make cash. His break-even is going to be 91. Now, look, he might have a break-even of 70 or 80 next week. But to me, there's better options in that space. Finn Callahan comes back next week. You've got Chera, who's got 100 under his belt. You've got Bailey Smith even for that sort of ballpark price or a bit cheaper. I think he's an issue if you've got him, although you could turn it into an opportunity because it gives you someone to trade from.
Yep. Will Bo Allen be straight back in her Skitty? Sorry?
I think so. Unless he's got something lingering or anything like that. The plan was to always have him come straight back in. So that's good to see there for Bo Allen. I mean, look, Kiz is absolutely all right here. Archie could kick 6. And
he's done it for us before.
He's done it for. Oh, you're not wrong there. But Horse, Jack Graham, you were talking to me about him during the week. I think actually Hurls was also getting a little bit excited about him too. Why don't you talk to me? What do you reckon? Because he is 376k discounted forward. What do you think of Jack Graham?
I don't want to give too much away because we did a bit of an article within our Patreon earlier this week. But
good.
What if I told you that I believe if he keeps that inside mid role at West Coast, that he could be a top 6 forward this year?
I like that. And also, too, he is the only one that knows how to pretty much do anything at West Coast. The rest of them are just, nah.
Just nah. Think of it like this. When he was at Richmond, he had the likes of Taranto, Lambert when he was going through the midfield, Hopper, Dusty. Like, the list goes on with the amount of midfielders that they had going through there at Richmond, right? Graham played sometimes in there, but not all the time. He was pushed out to a wing. He's not a winger. He's got an inside mids body, bit all over the place. Now he's solidified as probably the inside mid at West Coast, which suits his game. He scored at 1.07 points per minute last week, which is ranked as very good, almost elite, in a side that got smacked, in a side where his ruckman only had 16 hit-outs for the game. He had 10 tackles, which is fine too, because tackles mean points. If he has that role this week and he scores that way again, I will be looking for ways to bring him in.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's fair. I think it's one to watch. 71% CBAs for Jack Graham, which was the highest at West Coast. Duggan's was a bit low. So that's just probably the watch for me. Does Duggan get a bit more and they spread it a bit more evenly? But I'm also very much watching Jack Graham. I just don't know how I would get him if I want to. I don't know what the path is to get him. But if he gets another 100 and has the 70% CBAs, then maybe you just have to make a couple of different moves and trust a few more midfield rookies to allow the extra forward down there or something.
Squid as well. There's someone that's hurt back in a month. Elliot, he's not back for another 4 to 6. So, yeah, prime Jack Graham time. And we see Duggan may not be playing due to hamstring tightness, awareness. So, another senior member going down there.
Does Flynn stay in the ruck for the 6 weeks owners need, Horse? Like, it's a cash grab. And so far, I think he's right on plan. 90 SuperCoach points or whatever it was is what you would have budgeted for him. But are owners right in getting nervous and maybe getting a bit worried about staying in the team as number one ruck?
I am really on the fence with this one, Hurls. I love that you brought it up. I think he's probably saved this week and for the next couple of weeks, given that our man, the W train, he's out for a couple of weeks with that, was it a calf, Squid? Yeah, sad face. Which means if Bailey Williams comes back in, he's going to play as a forward, which means Flynn will stay in the ruck. 16 hit-outs last week was shithouse. But we saw that he got moved forward as well instead of going to the bench. So I like that more than a ruckman resting on the pine because he's still got an opportunity to score points. 90 points in a game where he got smacked is not too bad. He's playing Oscar McInerney this week. If anything, because Oscar McInerney had a limited preseason, it might suit him a little better. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really on the fence. You'll see my trades later. I've actually got him out at the moment, but I wouldn't be adverse to bringing him back in and seeing if he can create some more cash for me.
My only thing that I like about Flynn is the fact that Bailey Williams was able to play last week and he was an emergency. So obviously Minnie McQualter's like, oh, well, I like what I've got here with Flynn and Archer Reid. I think Reid is more of an option to drop for Bailey Williams than Matt Flynn is. I thought Flynn's tackling pressure was something that was greatly utilised by his big frame, and that was probably will be the thing to keep him in the side because West Coast desperately need it.
Jack Hutchinson has done a hamstring, is out for 3 weeks as well. So
damn, not the
there's a lot going on there at West Coast.
The other thing to think about with Flynn is, like we can often get seduced by who we don't have and who we missed as Supercoach. And so, there's a lot of questions. Should I go Flynn it's my only way to get Baz, right? Now, be careful who's giving you the advice, because if I'm giving you the advice, I'm going to say, yeah, do it, because I didn't like Flynn. I didn't start him. But if you started Flynn and your plan was 6 weeks, 90 a week, make 200K, and that's cash gen, then nothing's changed really. So I think you just got to be careful what you listen to, who you listen to, and what their confirmation bias sounds like. Because I'll tell anyone who wants to listen that get off Flynn because I haven't got him and I didn't like him. But someone else, you must have started him for a reason if you've got him. That's the thing I'll say.
I want to give our man CWT in the chat a bit of a shout out too, Squid, because I'm pretty sure he's sitting in the top 200 at the moment. He's doing really scored really well last week. And follower of the show, subscribe to the show. I want to see you do well, mate. Congratulations and keep up the good work.
Mm-hmm.
Good effort.
Love that. What up, mate? Absolute superstar.
North Melbourne versus Melbourne. So two teams we really couldn't give a fuck about. Can we move on?
Yeah, of course. That's fine.
Anyway, the burning questions. Maxwell Gawn versus the Spectrum. Cherry, Spectrum, however you want to pronounce his surname. Do they nullify each other, Squid? Or do you think they actually both go big?
I think they both go big. Like we saw that last time they played, I believe, from memory. I think they both go pretty big. I think we can just see one of those games. I think it's going to be more Gawn, I would say, just probably because, I don't know, X decided last week against the Dogs that he forgot how to do ruck work again, and he just tapped it to the Dogs and started tackling them again. So, I'm worried about that. Gawn had 114 and 130 his last two times against X. So, I think it's just going to be around the 100 and 110 mark for both.
Do you see that as well, Hurls?
Yeah, probably. I think, look, Melbourne don't even know where Marvel is, do they? I don't know if they'll make it on time, but they don't play that ground very well.
From having to travel from the MCG to Marvel.
They don't play the ground very well, but I think surely Max Gawn should. Like, he'd be able to take some intercept marks this week, drop back in the hole to give his defenders a bit of a chop out. So I think he'll score well, and I think you're right, Sherry's score will come from his tackling like it always does and follow-up work. So I think they could both score. And I can tell you that it is sherry, like the drink. It's Maltese in origin, so I do know that for sure.
He came out and said that it's cherry. So, got you, baby.
Cherry.
It's not even cherry.
Okay, so Gawn actually disappointed me a bit last week, lads. I know it pissed down rain for a little bit there.
It's just his last quarter.
Yeah. Lockie Keefe or whoever that was that he was rucking against, he should have absolutely fucking monstered him. Yeah. And I know it's round one. I know I actually faded in the end. So I went with TDK and Cherry as my rucks. And it was a very scary watch. But before the rain even came, I didn't think that he was as prevalent or as big in the game as what he could have potentially been. And then when the rain came, it was, you just got to knock the ball forward and whatever else. But I think this week, I don't think the watch is Gawn versus Cherry as such. I think it's the midfields. And I think Clary absolutely goes bonkers this week. Yep. And if he had been playing on, say, a Friday instead of a Sunday, I think there could be VC option here, especially against North Melbourne's midfield.
See, I reckon Clary was the disappointing one last week. Like, I own both of them, and I'm not moving on any of them. They're both there for a reason, but I was very underwhelmed with Clary. I thought he would be much better. I know Bedford sort of went with him a little bit and wasn't really a hard tag. It was sort of followed him around a bit, but I thought that I thought he would do what Tom Green did, and he just didn't.
I love that you brought that up, Hurls. I actually went back and watched it. When Bedford was tagging Petrarca, Oliver wasn't even looking at the rucks. He was looking for where Petrarca was and then would run to Bedford and put a block on to allow Petrarca to run free to the contest. So he was almost sacrificing his own game for the purposes of getting Sex Track free. And then when he was being tagged, he had Bedford, but then Track was forward or Track wasn't around. He wasn't getting those blocks. So from a Supercoach point of view, it was pretty disappointing. I'll agree with you. From a footballing point of view, I actually liked the Ks and liked the spots he was getting to. He just, I think it's just time. And, against a North Melbourne team that you'll even answer this, Squiddy, they didn't defend well last week. It could be a real opportunity for him to nudge 120, 130 this week.
The thing about it is, though, that North defended horribly, but they were actually good in the stoppages like they normally are. That is something that North are very good with winning stoppages, with getting ball out of stoppages. It's just that they shit house at defending turnovers, and that's not really Clary's game. It's more or less, I think Salem will have a big game in this game, in fairness, and Trent Rivers to an extent, but I think it'll be mainly Salem, probably with a lot of Ed Langdon as well, working wing side. That's where I see most of the damage being done. But also, too, you're right, Horse. They are not great at tackling at the moment, North. And Petrarca could really also get off the chain, as well as Viney.
Yeah. Hurls, out of the debutants last week, Xavier Lindsay, Mr. or Big
Aiden.
Johnson, Aiden. Yeah, I forgot his first name. Jack Henderson, Jacob Constanti, and Finn O'Sullivan. Well, for me anyway, Xavier Lindsay was by far and away the most impressive rookie out of this bunch.
Yeah, I'm going to go early on him this week, actually. I think he's I like rookies who have a defined role, and I saw that now with Lindsay last week. He looks like he's locked into that wing, and it's a really interesting contrast, Lindsay to O'Sullivan. So it'll be fascinating to see what happens this week in this game, because Melbourne use their wingers, North don't tend to. And so that's probably why the difference in score existed last week. But now that they're playing against each other, be interesting if they both score well or they both don't. So that'll be one to watch. And again, obviously the maths game will kick in, and we'll have to see what we want to do from a break-even point of view. I didn't think Henderson did anything wrong. I didn't think Aiden Johnson did anything wrong. Yeah. But they don't have the roles to be must-haves. Whereas I think Lindsay has the job security I wasn't sure he had, I think is now there. So I'm liking him. What about you, Squid? What do you reckon about O'Sullivan in contrast? Because a lot of people have him. Or what are your thoughts there?
Well, first of all, Johnson's obviously suspended. He copped a week for a bump.
Oh, did he?
Bullshit. Yeah. Jefferson, the other one that will be in Melbourne's forward line. He looks like he'll probably stay down there as a main guy because Van Ruin doesn't know how to not underrun the ball. He seems like every kick is 5 meters above his head. So that's just how that goes. North do use their wingers a lot, except it only comes in the form of B. Scott. They don't really use the other side, but as you'll see, Bailey Scott normally gets about 25 disposals because they utilize him coming up from his wing position. As I said to last week as well, I like how Finn O'Sullivan drops back and plays defensive off the wing role. He did do it a few times against the Dogs. It's just that they were already pushed too far up for him to be completely utilized, which made it very, very hard. And I don't know what the hell they were doing, but either way, whatever, they'll hopefully be better for the hit out. I really like the look of Xavier Lindsay. I think he's really, really solid. I also like Langford as well. Unfortunately, he was a sub, but when he came on, I think he had 40 or something like that. He looked really impactful when he was on. I think he was more suited to that wet weather style. His kicking's not 100% there yet, but he is a big body that just likes to get in and under. So, I reckon I like, out of the rookies here, I like Lindsay, I like Henderson, I've got Foss at the moment. I'm going to give him another week. Costanti, I don't care that he got a 71. I just don't care.
He does.
He tackles that.
He tackles. That's it. Which is great. But we both went to watch him during the preseason, and he almost looked a little lost at times, didn't he, in the forward line?
He gets his spacing so incorrect at times. Same as Robert Hanson Jr. My God, he needs a bake. But yeah, Costanti, I love that. I love his forward pressure. That's something that North desperately need, and his will to try and get those tackles. It's just that you're never going to – you saw it when he got a rundown tackle and he got holding the ball and he was about 60 meters out and he had no idea what to do with the ball. Like he was looking for a lead, but they were never going to be there because they'd already flooded back. Needed to have moved it in quick, put the ball on top of Larky or Darling's head, but he had taken too long by that time, and Tim English was already back there to be able to get in the way. So, it's one of those things. It's a learning curve. He may get there. I'm just not 100% sure on the job security.
Are you talking about Hanson Jr. or Constanti?
Both of them.
So would it be fair to say that?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Well, let's see, because Constanti was good. So I'll give him that. But yes, I want to see a lot more. And now our toughest player has been rubbed out for 3 fucking weeks because the Tribunal's a bunch of cowards. But whatever.
Can I ask a question without notice that's not on the screen? Because I didn't see the game at all and you two did. Parker had 58% CBAs, which surprised me, but he scored shitouts. Like, what's going on there?
I don't know why that surprised you when in the fact I've been saying I don't. No.
So let me clarify. The score didn't surprise me. I don't like him at all. But the percent CBA surprised me. 58%.
That's what I mean. So basically, he's going to be in there. Like a lot of Swans fans were saying, "Oh, he's going to like North got him over there for a reason to be able to like get him in the midfield to shore it up." No, he's there for a leadership role. He's there not to be the guy. He's there to help all of the North players to be able to build and be there for a bigger body kind of spec. So, yeah, it's not like he's going there to be the superstar. He's going there to be the body, to show them how to work out, to continue going and to get games in. So, yeah, I don't think he's ever going to score that highly, but he was definitely more of a defensive mid than anything. Like, he was trying to throw blocks on for LDU and that kind of stuff, especially in the second half.
Justice for Archer.
Damn right, Tass. Damn right.
We saw this corresponding game last year. Yeah, before we move on.
Sorry.
Melbourne had this game by the scruff of the neck, and North came charging home to lose by less than a kick, I think it was, at the end of the game. Squid, do you think they've got a chance here? They do play Marvel pretty well.
We do. Do you also remember that was the game where we should have won that, but it was Frothy's May that did that bloody bullshit pretend head high thing, and then he got the free kick, and then the 50 that coincided with it. So I think we're in with a chance. It just depends if they have come to play with a bit of fucking oomph and want to get a bit of body on. If they've come to play with the same crap that they did against the Dogs last week, we got no chance. Track's going to absolutely take the piss out of them. But I feel like it can be all right. Just depends on how we go with the back line because Logue's out, Archer's out, and Comben might be out.
So that means Whitlock may debut.
Could be Whitlock, could be Shotgun Dawson or Callan Dawson or the other one that I can't remember. Toby Pink. Teddy.
2 in there.
Teddy. I think there's a good chance it's probably Callan Dawson and Teddy.
Okay.
It's very grim, isn't it? But Melbourne don't have a full forward.
Next game,
Van Ruin and Jefferson. They're the two that will be forward. So it's definitely a watch.
Last game of the round, we're going to cover here, Fremantle versus Sydney. Is it too early to say danger game Hurls for Sydney? If they lose this, they're 0-3.
I think this is really interesting for both of them. Like Freo were shithouse last week. And Sydney, although they were quite good against Brisbane, they still lost, and they've lost 2, even though they're against 2 good teams. So, 0-3 isn't ideal going into a bye because they got the bye the week after. Freo at home would want to show something after last week's shithouse effort. So this game has a little bit of spice because of that. The loser might be in the gun in the media all week.
Yeah. Yeah. What do Freo change, Squiddy, in response to their poor round 1? Or what does Sydney change in response to 2 losses in a row?
Jeez. Freo's, I think they just weren't prepared for what Geelong were going to be able to onslaught. Look, they came back at times. Murphy Reid was fantastic with those quick 4 goals, and Freo looked like they had a sniff, and then Geelong just rolled them. So I don't think Freo were fully prepared for that. Swans, I mean, look, honestly, they did a lot right. Like, the Swannies were, like, they looked very, very good against the Lions. I think this is going to be an absolute ripper of a game. And I feel like I'm going to go Sydney in this game. Especially with Reedy out, so that means that we got Jackson pretty much ruck the whole game against Grundy, which normally you'd use Jackson as your athletic ability to be able to get past other ruckmen. You can't do without Grundy. It's going to be a battle of the mids as well. Stock standard, I'm just going to give the nod slightly to the Swans. I think the Swans just get there, especially with turnover footy. I think they can really open up Freo in that sense. So, yeah, I think they're going to play their normal game style, and I reckon the Swannies win by 25.
Oof. Big call. Hurls.
I'll go the other way. I think Freo get it done. They beat them at the SCG last year, so I think at home they'll get it done. And I think Reedy out is perfect for Freo. Why they played him as a centre-half forward when he's just not mobile. We know what today's footy is. It's half forwards who get up and back, and having that extra tall with Amos plus Tracy and him just made it too lumbering. So I think that'll suit him with Reedy out and Jackson in the ruck.
And Shea Bolton in this week too, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, late test. It is a test, but he could get up. If not, it'll be the other young bloke. Who's the other young guy they got? I don't remember.
Michael Walters,
Simpson, someone or other.
Cooper
Simpson. Yeah, no, Walters is still a few weeks away.
I'm aware of that. You said young bloke, so I said Mickey Walters.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Cooper Simpson.
Woo! Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was straight over my head. Sorry, mate.
Hurls. Does Nathan O'Driscoll cement himself as a must-have? I think.
Yeah, yes. I'm already calling him a must-have. I think he will be a must-have because he's going to get CBAs while Young and Fife aren't there, and probably that's another few weeks at least. And even when they come back, I think he then goes back to the wing, and we know Freo's wings can score like Sharp did last year. So I think Nod is a must-have. If you don't have him, I'd be jumping on early.
Yeah.
I'm nodding to that.
Who does James Jordan go to, Squid? Sarong, Brayshaw, Clark.
Clark. We saw this already before. He went to Clark and he nullified him. I think he'll go straight back to him. Clark looked pretty good last week, especially in the first half. So that's where I'm thinking that it's going to go. Also, too, shout out to Scorched Earth and his misso. This is their family tribute tonight with Scorched going for the Dockers and obviously Scorched Earth going for our lovely bleached one at the Swans. She might have to change teams next year. Actually, they might probably go for Freo after next year. How good's that?
How good's this too? CWT top 200, and he started Jackson. From what I'm hearing, it is confirmed that Reedy's out, and they're going to roll Jackson as the number one.
I've heard from about 3 sources that Reedy's already gone. Like, he's out this week.
Yeah, no, not confirmed because it's a Sunday night game, but it's been from many sources saying the same thing. So you would imagine.
Not
Sunday
confirmed,
night,
but they're all saying he's gone. Like, he's out.
6:10 at Optus Stadium. That's like 3:00 in the morning over here, Hurls.
Yeah, well, it's a long day when you've got the 3 games back to back.
Yeah, that's fair.
6 their time.
Nah, it's 6 our time.
Yeah.
Has to be.
6 your time and 3 p.m. over here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot better because, everything goes off of our time because we're important.
I'm actually surprised that Hurls has been able to keep up with conversation, given it'll take 3 days for our words to get over there.
That's why my Macca's Wi-Fi doesn't kick in sometimes because it's trying to get across the nullarbor.
The Burger King.
We've already seen that with your Frosty Fruits mic from tonight, so that's all right. It's getting there.
Hurls, Corey Warner.
Yeah.
He's got to break even at 39.
He does. Minus 39.
Minus 39, sorry. It'd be, for me, it's a 1 week cash grab.
Look, I think it's more than that, but it's got danger written all over it. I think it's got some potential. Now, it depends on your team, right? It depends on your team structure. Warner got a 50 and then a 72. If he goes in the middle and gets a 60 each week for the next 3 weeks, he makes you about 100,000, 110,000. So I don't think it's the worst idea. but I don't think he has the role to make it any more lucrative than that. Now, I could be wrong. A Cole Chandler from a few years ago made shitload of cash playing this kind of role, right? So it's possible. I just don't know, given I don't know what Sydney are doing week to week with their sub, and Patton went to sub and Bice came on, and Warner last year was sub a lot and all that. I just worry that one sub affected game and his cash gen's dead. And so that's what worries me about Warner. But it is a play if you want some quick cash.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And what I'm going to say on that is, because he is someone that I've got currently in at the moment, is that the reason why I like him at the moment is because of what you said. Bice, Patton, they're the two that I'm identifying as sub-risk unless there is no injury. So I reckon it's just those guys. And they're just interchangeable to throw it wherever you can. I like Warner. I reckon he's shown a bit. They've given him the 2-year contract. I think there might be a little bit of, hey, Corey, Chad, look, we're playing your brother. He's playing well. You'd love to stay here. And look, I think you cemented it perfectly with Cade Chandler. And you said, look, he made a shit ton of cash in playing in that good Melbourne side. Sydney aren't screwed. I know they're 0-2, but they've come up against good opponents. I reckon they'll be fine. Warner's in a good position, I reckon.
And you've also got Hanley behind him for that kind of forward spot too. So I think it can work. It depends whether it suits your team. It depends whether it suits your structure, those kinds of things.
The other one as well, there's Hanley behind him, and then there's the other one, Cleary, I think it is, who played Cleary, one game last year. But I think he's clear. I think he's fine ahead of them. I think he brings a bit more defensive presence in that forward line than that. I think Cox prefers what you can see. He's happy to have Papley. He's happy to have Will Hayward down there, but Warner's able to go a bit further up ground. That's why I like it.
For anyone that watches The Simpsons,
yes,
here are some words that rhyme with Corey.
Welcome to the Corey Hotline.
Yeah. Now, will Patton keep his spot, Hurls, or will Bice replace him? I said it twice because it's Bice. It's Bice. He's in. He looked good last week.
Bice, baby.
As someone who didn't start Patton and wants to bring Bice in after his bye, because I know I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here, but I have a trade planned for round 4, between round 3 and 4, and it's Jackson Pryor out, Bice in. $40,000 cash gen just by the move. And I think Bice can score as well or more than Jackson Pryor anyway. So that's what I hope happens. What does happen, bloody hell, I don't know. He was good. I thought he was good. Phil didn't love his game, but I did.
3rd ranked player on the ground from when he went on to the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's good. It's quite bicey, if you ask me.
It is quite spicy. Now, Squid, does Sheldrick get a recall?
Don't care. It's looking like sub, if anything. So don't care. No, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Sheldrick, look, as we all saw, what was the one thing that we all said about Sheldrick? We were not impressed by his ability to go after the ball in that Pracky game. And we thought he was too small and it was a bit undersized. So if he comes in, who gives a shit?
You heard it first. Phil's going to be crying after listening to our Swans reviews every week.
I pumped up water. All right, what do you want from me? I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just whatchamacallit, you know what I mean? I think I'm a Bobby. Shabba-dabba-daboo.
Do you know what else we're going to discuss amongst the shibba-dabba-daboo?
What's that?
Last year, we introduced a segment where people from all around the world tuned in for, regardless of the SuperCoach content, regardless of what was being said. There's about 30 seconds worth of content that if this is the only 30 seconds you see for the SuperCoach episode that we're displaying tonight, then you're going to want to watch this. Ellen DeGeneres can't match this. Oprah Winfrey, she's got fuck all. SEN, try and copy us. What am I talking about? It's Squid and his Cone of the Week.
Oh, horse, I am fucking angry this week. I'll tell you what. Oh, Jesus. Started off badly with the North Melbourne game because I was pissed off at their defense. I was angry about that. I was angry about the fact that you just sprung it on me to make sure that I have to do code of the week. So I have no preparation. But who cares? I never had preparation. I just coned people. Righto. First of all, Tribunal, MRO, whatever the fuck your name is. 3 weeks for Jackson Archer. 3 weeks for Justin McInerney. Fuck off. That is a goddamn disgrace. How are they meant to stop their momentum? How is that not a football act? We're going into some absolute bullshit of this. Oh, we're going to go into touch footy. We may as well play fucking soccer. Like, it's a goddamn disgrace. It happens in our game. Bad things happen. Piss off. You're a dickhead. Weak as piss. Be better. I've had enough of you. Now, we go into Supercoach relevancy. Sam Pepper.
Oh, he's dropped it.
18. As an AFL football player, I know you lost by 500 points, but come on, lay a tackle or something. You could have got to 20. Kick the ball correctly. You could have got to 23. But no, you decided to sit there, watch Dan Houston piss all over you, exactly as he should, because you gave a fuck all to get rid of him. That's just what Port Adelaide deserved. Pepper was the guy that just copped it on the chin, whatever it is. I've got no one else to kind, but you know what? I'm going to be back bigger and better than next week. So bugger it. Every one of those. Pepper, Tribunal, AFL, Andrew Dillon. I'm looking at you square in the face. Weak as piss. Be better.
You heard it here first. He's got it off his chest. Squiddy's first. Kind of the week.
Yeah. Shit. Hang on.
Hang on. He's got to add.
Hang on. That's right. I forgot. Tim Watson and Gary Lyon, you pieces of shit. I copyrighted this shit. And you come out and you call it Pepe Le Pew of the week. Are you fucking kidding me? Weak as piss. Be better. Get your own fucking merchandise and call it a better name, you piece of crap. Or give me royalties. I want royalties now. Oh, wait. No one listens to you. Go.
I've got no words.
Where do we go from here, Horse? Where do we go from there?
G'day, Jasper. Thanks, my man. I appreciate that for getting me back on the narrative.
You know what?
There was one more. I forgot
there was. It's question time.
It's question time. Let's answer your questions for the week ahead.
And you know what, Jono? You're right. Elite sprinkles right there.
You know what? It's what I do. That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Jonas, you're right. Houston did want to go to Carlton, but imagine if they actually had someone that could hit a target inside 50 instead of just bombing it away, Hurls.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't. Let's be honest. It's fantastic.
Hey, at least they've got Adam Sard, so they can go boom every time he kicks it 50 meters to the opposite team. May as well just fucking take Dylan Shields' role from Essendon. How good.
The boom recruit that they got was even better, wasn't it? Haynes was fantastic. Did you see that? Did you see when he fell over, but when there was Casper next to him? Casper the ghost was tackling him. It was fantastic.
Did you see the video they posted? It was 43 seconds of Nick Haynes and Mitch McGovern dropping marks against Richmond.
I'm surprised it didn't go for 3 minutes. Fuck me, they were terrible.
Brilliant.
Chris Davis, Kerno will kick 3 snags this week, get 80 Supercoach points, suck people back in, and then get injured. No fucking doubt.
I hope so.
Not happening. Not happening. He's never in my team again. He's the only never again I've got. No, actually, Peppa Pig too. There's two of them.
Smart.
Dennis, thanks for joining us, mate. We all knew Day had a couple of tough matchups before his bye. We didn't start him for the round 1 to 3. We started him for a season hold.
Mm-hmm.
You're right to an extent, but we're going to see our trade plans very, very shortly after question time, Hurls, where one of us moves him out. Who that is, you're going to have to wait and see.
I wish that I did go with my sneaky little strategy that I did talk about in the preseason, where my strategy was to start Day and move him this week to Lachie Neale. And I said, stop being too creative. I'm trying to outthink the room. So I started Neale and it cost me fucking 40-odd points. But anyway, that's life. So I don't mind the Day move on if you want to. I think it's okay. But you can also hold if you think he's going to be there all year. That's all right too.
For sure. I got this one, Squid. Did the selection of Horse. Fuck, I wish I could play. Hobbs have a greater impact on Zaziki than we considered? No, because it was fucking Mason Redmond that went into the first centre bounce for the first half that fucked up our whole plans. As soon as we removed Mason Redmond, we were better. So, Mr. Scott, don't do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deadly has backed me up and saying it was Mason Redmond. So he's spot on.
I mean, it makes sense, eh? I mean, it was an absolute out of nowhere play. Like, he came on to tag, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what the hell is Redmond doing in there?" So that's all right.
Yep. Hurls, best cheapies to bring in this week. There's a few.
Well, the four that are the obvious for me are Nod, Nevitt, Harry Boyd, and Levi Ashcroft. But if you've already got those four, the one that I would prioritise next is probably Xavier Lindsay. And if you're talking really cheap and you want to get a bit creative, probably Max Hall or Riley Bice early. They're risks, but if you want the basement price and you want to take a punt, those two maybe. They're probably the ones. Or actually, I can't leave out Henderson or your man Squiddy. I think it's still a play, even though I'm not going to do it. I think Warner's not a bad shout either for some cash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's the one I like the most to get cash in. I'd prefer him over Long.
Squiddy, I know your son's only a week old, mate, but is Archer's first word going to be cone?
There's a good chance of that. Yeah. Yep. It'll be mum, dad, or cone. So, yes.
I'll tell you what, you've made it when you've got avid followers of the show. We know who it is, Hurls. Name themselves after you, but she's already got Hall. She's all over it.
Lucky woman.
It is. She's well ahead of me in the rankings after round one as well. So I need to lift my game.
Yeah, and you're right, Scorched Earth. It's probably insider info that she's got. He's not even giving us that. So I do have to give a shout out, though, to a couple of blokes that are within our Patreon that follow the NFL and the AFL.
Oh, smart.
What they did is they followed Maverick, Mullen, and DFAB on Twitter and signed up to both AFL and NFL on Patreon. And both Jasper and Michael Higginson have won tickets to the MCC area at the MCG this Saturday with a drinks package included to the value of $100. So to those boys, congratulations. We'll put some posts up in the chat for the week. And no doubt it'll be a ripper day. So Higo and Jasper, really looking forward to having some beers with you guys. So
I'll tell you what, too, there was some scoffing at that game. That's shaping up to be a cracker, I reckon.
Yeah, the Dons versus the Crom. Can't wait.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game.
I agree.
Will be too. All right, so we're done with our questions now. What we're doing is we're going to get into our trades for the week.
Mm-hmm.
So the trading room brought to you by our man Hurls. Squiddy, you've made one move this week. Warner of the Corey variety, the Corey hotline, is out. Oh, is in, and Power Pepper's out.
Shit, I thought I was doing Chad Warner at a discount price. Well, that's a bit of a stuff up, isn't it? No, I'm bringing in Corey from the Corey hotline. I know. I like his role. I like where I think he's more safe to not be a sub risk than others. I'm doing it for the cash grab. I'll see how we go if I want to piss him off again next week. And rather than doing the two like you guys, I'll do the one, have my banked cash that I've done from going down from Pal Pepper, then get the cash increase, and it should get me close to Baz range if I want to go with Bailey Smith or if I want to go elsewhere, but it'll get me close to that range depending on how good Warner does. I only need like a 50 or something.
Hurls, for you're trading out James Peatling and Peppa Pig and bringing in Xavier Lindsay and Bailey Smith.
Yeah, I toyed with the idea. By nature, I like to be aggressive in the first 2 weeks, and anyone who read the article in my about the grand plan will know that I put down 6 corrective trades that I always bank. So I have no issue with 2 boosts in the first 2 weeks, but I explained why I'm not going early on Perryman and I'm just holding fire because I don't know where to go to. So that if I was doing a third, it would be Perryman to someone, but I'm just going to get some more clarity on what I'm doing there. And I'm doing the Lindsay one early because of now that leaves, I think I've still got 200K in the bank after those two moves. And so next week I can attack Perryman either up, I can go some other directions. If Perryman wants to be a hold, we'll see what happens.
And for me, I'm going ultra aggressive because I want to make my way back up the leaderboard. Perryman, I'm just not sure on his role. And he's got a break even of 77 and then the bye next week. I've already got Matt Roberts in my back line and his best 18. So I want players or my primos playing. I already understand that Roberts isn't going to play next week, which is fine. But then if I bring in Zorko to replace Perryman in my back line, I'm pretty happy with that. Will Day, with the nature of Hawthorn's midfield, he does have a high ceiling, but I really didn't like how he was phased out last week against Essendon. And at 491K, that's probably my corrective trade. I don't think he's going to be a keeper come season's end. Yeah, he might make me a little bit of cash this week, but Horse will regret. Probably, but I need to be aggressive this week. And 2024 Detroit Pistons legend Malachi Flynn is out at this stage. So I'm bringing in Levi Ashcroft. He's my cash gen at a much cheaper price. And then I'm bringing in two keepers. So I think I've seen enough of Bailey Smith, a little bit in the preseason, but then last week, even if he doesn't score well this week, I think he's going to be a keeper in our forward line. So he's just a set and forget. And Dane Zorko as well. I think that role is just ultra juicy down back for Brisbane. The only other way I can see myself going this week is I'm going to hold Peppa Pig, controversially, because you know what? It's best 18. And if he pops off against Richmond and scores 80, awesome. If he fucks up again, then I can use his cash, move Kako down into my forward line, and then bring in a Xavier Lindsay and save 30K next week.
You know, the hard thing about Peppa Pig, though, is that he's now a week behind, basically. So it's basically... yeah, exactly right. Like else, yeah, like his Macca's Wi-Fi. So yeah, it's basically like he's now a week back, and I'm cash is king, baby. I don't want that shit.
Cash is king.
That's my only thing. But other than that, I love your trades.
I did toy with that.
Wuday makes me nervous. Wuday makes me so fucking nervous to drop Wuday.
Yeah, I don't mind the Will. I think that's aggressive. I like it. I think sometimes we get too fixated on what might happen instead of just going hard for what. Like Zorko, Smith, they're going to score, right? Ashcroft's a must-have. I think they're good trades. I was toying with the idea of holding Peppa Pig too after all my ranting and raving this week, and the reason I didn't was just I think getting Lindsay in now gives me much more flexibility next week because I've got all the rookies I really want, and I can then attack next week differently than if I wait and. You know, if that happens and then there's two other rookies that pop up, I don't want to bring in two rookies and only one upgrade next week. I want one rookie and two upgrades next week. So that's the only reason I'm doing it that way.
Spot on.
That's not. I also want it to be known that CWT, Peppa Pig could go 90 against Richmond.
Yeah, he could.
The only reason that would happen is if he heard my cone and that he will then pull his finger out of his ass and have a rocket shoved up his ass. So if he does, I want all the credit. That's because of me.
He could, but once you make a trade,
it's what we do.
The main thing is once you make a trade, don't look back. Right, like you've done it. Don't worry about it. If Peppa Pig gets a 90 this week and it costs me 30 or 40 points, stiff shit. That's I can live with why I did it.
He's still a week behind. He's still a week behind. I don't care.
Yeah, Hurls. That's going to do us for tonight. Where can the people at home find you, mate?
Twitter, so if or X or whatever it's called at Silvertop Hurls. Got into some great Twitter arguments last week about Sardis with some people in the community, and so it's fun and games. So you can come and find me there, and I'll argue about the different players and rationale for why I'm keeping someone when someone else is dropping them and all that kind of crap. And I will have to say that I do tweet a lot about Essendon, so you just might have to mute me while Essendon's playing.
That's all right. Don't mind it. Squid, my man.
Yes.
I've been busy with the dad life and that.
Yeah.
But where can the people at home find you?
Mainly, you can find me on Hurls' couch like I was last week. You can find me not tweeting about Essendon very much. That's just a good part that I do. But yeah, I'm at SC Squiddy. I try and do whatever I can when I can. Unfortunately, yeah, as Hall said, I'm a little bit tied up at the moment with being a new dad, and Archie demands a lot of my time and patience. So, that's how that goes. But that's right. I'll get around to it eventually. Let's hope. But yeah, keen to get on to some footy this weekend. Footy, and also make sure if you haven't already, I see there's there's over 300 people watching us right now. Get your guesses in for Squeeze of the Week. All you have to do is tell us who's going to get the highest Supercoach score individually this round and what that score is. And let's hope the Roos beat the D's. And how about you, Horse?
I reckon if we got over 300 watching us, I reckon we could get a few just punching that like button as well. Give us a like, subscribe, and the bell. We would absolutely love that. But also, if you end up listening to us on audio, give us that 5-star review. That'd be awesome. Steedsy, he's in our Patreon. We've got to give the man some love. Does the best 18 give you a chance to hang tight on Layla or Foss, or trade one for Cash Gen, Warner, or Long? I'll go to you first, Hurls.
I don't know what other rookies you've got. My initial reaction to that is don't get rid of either of them yet, but next week you might. I don't love moving rookies early unless you think you have to pick up 3 or 4 of them next week, and then you might have to make a call. Foz would be the one if I was moving one of those 2.
Yep. Squid?
I wouldn't move either of them. I think their long-term game is way too good over Warner and Long. So I'll hold both Layla and Foss.
I think I'd be the same.
And Lawler, sorry.
Lawler. Layla. Lawler.
We'll get Lawler right by round 27.
Bro, the suburb of Layla is 2 seconds down the road, and it's spelt the same as Lawler is pronounced. It annoys, but that's all right. He's a goat. So I'll give respect where respect's due.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You'll find us inside our Patreon. If you'd like to chew the fat footy-wise over the weekend, we've got a really good core community of over 100 people in there that love talking footy, all really like-minded, polite people. There is a bit of banter, but we do also respect each other. And the teams that we support, we've got our punters club going on in there. Yes, you're right, Squiddy. It ain't weak to speak, and it's okay to not be okay. So you're not alone. But also, if you love footy, just jump in, have a chat with us. We love it. Grab a stubby, relax, and just enjoy what the AFL brings, even if the AFL and the tribunal are a bit left of centre. That's going to do us. We'll see you next week. Flagged on.